to introduce you to our first speaker, Suzie Flynn.
Hi.
So if you can have a little...
Thank you. Firstly, I'd like to say thank you to Lisa for inviting me along tonight to speak with you. As you can see, I'm Suzie from Suzie Flynn Coaching. I'm a mindset coach. I'd also like to say thank you to everyone here for coming along tonight, taking time out of your evening. I know that we're all busy to hear me speak. So I want to start by giving you a little bit of background as to who I am, my journey, and what I do. The clicker works. Fantastic. Background: lack of confidence and low self-worth. That was me when I left school quite a long time ago now. I was quite a shy, sensitive child, and I was bullied throughout my whole of my school years. Some of you may or may not relate to this. I left school not believing in myself, not having enough self-worth, and just not really having enough confidence. To top that off, my dad said to me at age 16, you've got 2 years extra education and then out to work. I had no idea what I wanted to do, like probably a lot of us didn't at that age. And I kind of followed in my mum's footsteps. She was a receptionist, a telephonist, so I ended up being a PA and an EA for 22 years. So I worked as personal assistant and executive assistant in the Docklands, in Canary Wharf, in the West End. I worked for big FTSE 250 companies, small companies with 40 people, including the chairman, the chauffeur, and 4 tea ladies, which was great when the cakes came by. I also worked for a range of different industries, from insurance, finance, property, telecoms, and healthcare. I worked one-to-one at CEO level, CFO level, and also 1 to 60 at one point, which was quite a challenge. But then 2013 was the year that everything changed for me. It was the toughest year of my life. I lost my mum on the 11th of April, 4 days before her 70th birthday. And I also lost my dad on the 3rd of November. So about 7 months apart, 6, 7 months apart. But to add to that, I was suffering from depression, stress, and anxiety as I tried to hold everything together. I tried to complete my psychology degree with the Open University, hold my job down, look after or deal with my brother who has some mental health and learning difficulties. I also had some home issues and a relationship issue. Everything felt like it was falling apart. To top it off, my employer at the time put me through, 7 weeks after my mum died, put me through a disciplinary for poor performance. I know. And I was told when my boss was away for 2 weeks, this is your time to shine. I'd shared with them letters about my depression, my anxiety, and my stress. My first experience of mental health, and I think we need to talk about it more. But after I lost my dad in November, I took a few months off, did some travelling, got the antidepressants, sorted my life out a little bit. Then I came back in 2014, and they said you can either rotate round the company in different roles and we'd still monitor your performance, or you can take a settlement agreement. So I waited a couple of weeks, got paid again, took the settlement agreement. I carried on being a PA for a while, but I decided that was my catalyst. I wanted to leave a legacy for my parents. I wanted to do something more. I felt I could do something more than being a PA. It's a great role and I love it and I'm a big advocate of it, but I wanted to create more transformation. So fast forward, I did various different modalities. I trained as a personal performance coach with the Coaching Academy. I did EFT training as a practitioner, emotional freedom techniques, or some people might know it as tapping. I'm also an NLP practitioner and also a Reiki master. So it took me a few years to put those qualifications under my belt, and I started to build my business. But then in 2017, out of adversity comes strength. And that will become a bit more relevant in a second, some people may know. And I truly believe in out of adversity comes strength, because you can embrace the adversity or you can let it take over. So in May 17, I had a major mountain bike accident. I'm actually very proud that I'm standing here in heels today. I won't go into the details because some of you may be a little bit squeamish, but let's say I caused a lot of damage to my knee, my foot, my ligaments, my nerves, etc. And it took me to August this year to actually be discharged from outpatients. So it's been quite a journey. But I made the decision in that moment, or not in that moment, but at that time, Do I want to return to corporate, or do I want to use this opportunity, which I saw it as, to build my business and empower personal assistants? I chose the latter, and that's why I'm here today. So, my mission. My mission is to help personal assistants increase their confidence and self-belief to create life on their terms in accordance with their values. And I do find, and I've heard people like Lucy Brazier say, that a lot of self-assistants, myself included, and executive assistants, don't value themselves enough, don't have enough self-belief. And I can see a few people nodding, so I'm sure you'll resonate with this. So let's explore in a little bit more detail what values actually are. It's a dictionary definition. So the dictionary definition said that values are beliefs about what is right and what is wrong, and what is important in our life. But I'd love to hear from a couple of people in the room as to what they would define a value as. Would anyone like to share?
Trust.
So trust, yeah, fantastic. Anyone else?
Integrity.
Integrity. Those are values. Fantastic. Anyone else?
Reliability.
Reliability, and I heard respect. Fantastic. So we're going to delve a little bit deeper into what values are and also what they mean to us, how they show up in our life on a daily basis, both at work and at home. So what are values? Well, they're the things that we believe that are important to us in the way that we live our life. They are the things that bring us happiness and joy. Values determine our priorities and our goals in life. So if your priority is to spend time with your family, you won't be wanting to do a 70-hour week travelling all over the world. That won't be important to you. And also I'd say that our values change over time. So in our 20s, our values are going to be very different to when we are in our 40s, when we've got a mortgage, kids, a cat, dog, goldfish, whatever it is, and we've got bills to pay. So our values do evolve and change over time. So our personal values are a central part of who we are. The person sitting next to you will not have the same values as you. They may have a few, but your values are unique. No one will have exactly the same values. It's okay? So when we are aligned with our values, life usually feels good. We feel in flow, we feel in alignment, and we just feel positive. We feel happy and we have joy in our life. However, when we're not aligned with our values, that is when life doesn't feel so good. That is when you get that knot in your stomach, you just feel that something's missing, you're unhappy in certain areas of your life, whether it's career or whether it's your personal life. So values are really, really important to us because they are a guide for us, they're a compass. So let's explore a bit more about how values help us, how understanding our values actually help us. So we make decisions based on what we value the most, what's most important to us, like I said earlier. But by understanding our values, it helps us make more informed choices. So when we know what our values are, we can make decisions and create goals in line with the kind of life that we want to live. That one's in bold for some reason. There you go. Bit of creativity for you. So if you value creativity but you have none at work or in home, something's going to feel like it's missing. You'll feel unsatisfied. In fact, I'm working with a client at the moment. Her name's Helen, and she approached me because two of her top values are creativity and freedom. And in her career, she's not actually a personal assistant and she works in the public sector, but she feels trapped in her environment. She doesn't have creativity in her day. So she's setting up a house of colour business, which is honouring that value of creativity. And I had a session with her today. And when she talks about that value, creativity, her face lights up because it's what's important to her and it's what matters. It really is. So by understanding our values, we discover what's truly important to us. And when we understand our values, we can create a direction in our life and we can set goals around those values. So we can take more aligned action and we can achieve greater happiness. So let me give you an example using the value of creativity again. Imagine you're in your career and creativity is like your number one value, but you're feeling frustrated, unhappy because you're not living that value. You can start aligning your goals and your actions around that value of creativity. So for example, you could speak to your boss in your next one-to-one meeting or in your next appraisal and say, you know, I need more creativity. Maybe I need to create more events, do more events, something that's going to honour that value. Or if it's the environment that you're in that's not honouring that value of creativity, then it may be that the goal for you is to find a new job and find an environment that fits in with that value of creativity. Maybe work for a fashion company, advertising company, something like that. So the other thing is if you feel that you don't fit in with the corporate world, which I think I eventually felt, and you want to set up your own business and do something that's perhaps been a hobby, you've got an idea, then you can create a business like Helen is doing with her House of Colour, and again, honour that creativity. So just some examples there of how our values align with our goals and how we can take action around it. So I wanted to share with you very quickly my top 5 values, and then we're going to do a little exercise. So you would have seen the value exercise in front of you, and you're going to spend some time discovering your top 5 values. Fun. I love to have fun, and for me, fun can come in many different ways. And my definition of fun is going to be different to someone else, because fun for me is going for a jog in the rain this morning. I wore waterproofs, but it was fun. Some people were like, hell no, that's not fun for me. But I enjoyed it. Fun is going out on my mountain bike. Yes, I'm back on my bike. Fun is going to the cinema. Fun is spending time with friends and family. Freedom. Freedom is hugely important to me. The freedom to wake up when I want, to work with who I want, etc. Flexibility. I now get to design my day the way I want to design it. I can choose who I work with, how long I can take for lunch, how long I work. I can design my day to allow flexibility in my life. Helping others. Now, this has been a value of mine since longer than I can possibly remember. I don't think I'd be a very good coach if I didn't want to help other people. So helping others is hugely important to me. And lastly, honesty is the best policy. Remember my dad saying that to me all the time. Honesty is the best policy. And sometimes it can be a bit scary, being honest, but I do think it's important. It's certainly important for me. So we're going to do the value exercise now, and we're going to discover what's important to you. So if you grab that value exercise sheet in front of you, and I'll just quickly run through it with you and check if there's any questions. So you can see a box of values. Has everyone got a pen or pencil? Does anyone need a pen? Yep. I've got some. There's a pen. Anyone else need a pen or pencil? You haven't got a sheet? Ah. Here we go. Has everyone got everything they need? Yep. Everyone got a pen, pencil, paper? Yep. Okay. Okay, so we're going to use this exercise so you can see. I think some of you already started. I'm so keen. That's how it happened last time too. You can see a box with values in it. It's just a guidance for you. Okay, you don't have to use those values as your top 5, but you can if you want. It's just to give you some inspiration. So I'm going to give you about 5 minutes to consider what your top 5 values are. Pop them in order of priority. You can see a little list on the sheet. And have a little think about what your one overriding value is that you couldn't live without. Mine is freedom. So are there any questions? No? I'll let you crack on and I'll let you know when 5 minutes is up. Does anyone want to share back maybe their top number 1 value? Creativity. It's coming up again. Fantastic. Anyone else want to share their top value or one of their top 5 values? Family. Wonderful. Love it. Sorry? Adventure. Beautiful. Success. Anyone else? Health. The one at the end? Laughter. I love that. One more person. Freedom. That's my one. Okay, wonderful. So what we're going to do now is actually do a group exercise. So I'm just going to have you pair into either two people, pairs, or if it's an odd number, that's fine, just do 3. So you might need to move your chairs around a little bit. But what we're going to do is discuss with the other person, both ways, or 3 people, what your values mean to you, why you chose them, and how you feel you live them on a daily basis. Where do they show up in your work or in your life, personal life? And perhaps where don't they show up? Where are they missing? And just have a think about where they show up, as I say, in your PA, EA role in your career. I'm going to give you about 10 minutes, maybe just less than 10 minutes to do that. So just find someone to work with, pairs of 2 or 3, and then I'll come back to you. Okay? Any questions? No.
They can all hear you, which is good here. We're enjoying it, we're not here. And occasionally we'll get music as well.
Oh, that's even more better.
But yeah, it was formed by a PA. It was kind of just a networking group for
minute left. 1 minute. 1 minute. Into the room. So we're going to do some feedback. So would anyone like to share what they learned from that exercise? Anyone? Yep, lady in blonde hair.
Sometimes the values that you have personally are very separated from your professional life.
Yeah.
And why you have those values is because from 9 to 6 you can compartmentalize that. But those are important for you on the hours outside of that.
Fantastic, fantastic feedback. Who else would like to share? Lady in the corner?
I've learned that also your values are sometimes depending on what your priorities are.
Yes.
And what you want to achieve.
Yes.
Is what's most important to you.
Fantastic. Anyone else like to share? Lady with the purple dress?
It's hard for me to say this, but I think that it's okay to put yourself first.
It is okay. It's absolutely okay to put yourself first. And it's a good awareness and good recognition. Fantastic. And thank you for sharing that. Appreciate that. Who else would like to share something? Lady on the sofa?
Often your 5 top ones will interlink to, we
Yeah.
can't have one without the other.
Yeah, and that's a really good point. And I don't know if you noticed the freedom and flexibility, they mixed into each other a little bit. So it's a really good point to make. Fantastic. Thank you very much. Anyone else? Anyone at the back or the sides? Anyone? Lady in the lovely flowery dress.
The words can mean different things to different people. So,
Yes.
for example, if you had money and rewards, well, that kind of meant the same to us.
Yeah.
But actually, it's different words and different.
Yeah,
meanings you
and
get.
that's a really good point. I touched on it earlier. What might be freedom to one person or fun to one person might not be to someone else. Like, I had fun running in the rain. Put your hands up if you find running in the rain fun. Okay, so half the room. There you go. My point has been made. Okay. I did wear a hat and a waterproof jacket, I will add. It would have been less fun if I got soaked. And I went for 5 minutes because actually, I've only actually been able to run, jog in the last few weeks, which was a goal I set myself, which was part of my recovery. So, one more share. Who would like to share? Yes?
I think it's interesting that sometimes you know what the value is, but you can't always articulate why.
Yeah.
It's a value you just know
Yeah.
it is and it's important to you.
Fantastic, and that's when we delve deeper into the why. It's typically something I do with my coaching clients in the first session. I send them an intake form before, ask them what their top 5 or 10 values are. But then we dig a bit deeper, like why are they important? What is the meaning behind them? So thank you for participating in that. Did you find it fun? Yeah, there was a lot of energy in the room and it was beautiful to see everyone engaging and all the chatter. So as a little gift to say thank you for everyone, I'm offering a free, oh no, sorry, I jumped ahead. Free, now it's a surprise. 5-day value challenge. So you would have seen under the value exercise sheet, a 5-day value challenge. I'm not going to go into it in detail now. Everything you need is on there. But I'd encourage you to do it. It will allow you to explore your values in more detail and explore the why behind them. So any questions about it, come and see me in the break. Now on to the free bit. As a thank you, I'm offering a free coaching session. So there is something I sneakily stuck underneath all of your chairs, one person will have the free coaching session with me, and there's another little gift. So if you want to go under the chairs, the ladies on the sofa, they wouldn't stick, so you have to go on the floor. Yeah, so the little leaflet is 10% off my Reiki. And the lady? Has everyone got it? Yep, fantastic. Okay, if we can come back to the room. Okay, so the small leaflet is, as I say, my Reiki Master. It's 10% off my for first Reiki session with me. It can be done via distance, so distant Reiki. If you want to know more about Reiki, I'll talk to you after the session, or it's in person in my home in Coulsdon. Congratulations to the lady with the red and black and white jumper dress on. Do you want to show your certificate?
Yes, I've got a couple of pictures.
Well done, congratulations. That's the universal line. What was your name?
Jenna.
Jenna, congratulations. Jenna. Come and have a chat with me on the break, and we will sort that out for you.
Lovely.
So that kind of brings me to the end of my presentation. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you've had fun. How long have we got for Q&A?
About 5 minutes.
5 minutes. So is there any questions people want to ask, or anything else they want to feedback from the session?
I have a particular question about, the role of PA and EA. Obviously, we're seen as support.
Yeah.
And just because we're seen as support, I think, the barriers and the boundaries that we need to build are always challenged every day.
Yes.
And so that's why, obviously someone's suffering, self-worth, etc., not in other creative roles, they're not so challenged. But then in our role, we have to fight so much and, to keep our integrity, to keep our sanity, really. I don't know whether it's something that other people share or just my...
Who resonates with what this lady is saying?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Also you work with, obviously, because it's a very personal, but then at the same time...
You've got the right people around you to speak with.
Yeah.
At the same time, I think after 20 years, so, you kind of have a, black face.
You build resilience, don't you?
Yeah. You are professional, and, obviously you hope that they treat you well.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, if they don't, you just do your job, you're professional. Because then if you just, get upset every time someone, doesn't say anything.
And did you want to ask a question related to this subject?
Yeah, I just wanted to find out, how you can build that resilience in terms of, and boundaries.
Well, I'm actually going to be writing an article on saying no and setting your boundaries for Canary Wharf PA Club. It's due out, I give it to Alice on the 1st, so it will probably be out later in the month. So watch out for that. But yeah, it's a good question. I think starting with your values is important. And if they're not met, sitting down with your manager, if they're open to it, and having that discussion. But having had a 22-year career as a PA, I do understand the challenges. And it really can depend sometimes on the work environment, your boss, etc. But it's something Gillian Haslam said yesterday in Alice Scutchie's Canary Wharf PA Club annual conference. It's okay to speak up. And sometimes when you speak up, you won't get the response that you want, but sometimes you will. So be brave and speak up and show your voice, because you do have a voice. You very much have a voice. And I just want to take one more question. If there's one more question, if not, then we'll go for drinks. One more question.
Okay, so as a PA or EA, your role is to support and help other people within the business.
Yeah.
Where do you draw the line on bringing your values and beliefs and trying to force them upon someone else? How can you stop yourself from forcing them upon yourself? You have your values and beliefs, but when you're in the business and in an office, you're there to do a job.
Yeah. It's a good question, and I like it. Thank you for asking that. And I think you should never force your values on anyone else, firstly. I think we all have, which we've discovered today, our own values, which are completely independent to us. I think it's about understanding that we all have unique differences. We all have our own perspective and model of the world. So instead of trying to force your values onto someone else, try and understand that person a bit more, understand what's important to them, get to understand their values and how you can fit and work together, because none of us are going to have the same values. Does that help answer your question? Okay. I think that's all we've got time for. So final slide, just want to say thank you. I'm Suzie Flynn from Suzie Flynn Coaching. If you want to ask me anything else, I'll be in the other room enjoying a drink or two. So thank you, everyone.